As we step into the new year, let us pause and reflect. Why do we procrastinate? Why do we hesitate to take the steps that bring us closer to God, to our true selves, and to the life we know we were meant to live? Procrastination is not just a delay, it's a spiritual struggle. Beneath it lies a fear of failure, fear of inadequacy, and fear that we are not enough. But this fear is not from God. It is the voice of the world, of the enemy, whispering lies into our hearts. Orthodox Christianity teaches us that our worth is not measured by our achievements or our ability to perform. The Church Fathers remind us, our value lies in being loved by God who created us in His image. St. John Chrysostom said, God does not demand success, but obedience. This world trains us to think that only the perfect are worthy of love, that we must prove our value through accomplishments. But consider Christ Himself. He was mocked, crucified, and seemingly defeated by the standards of this world. Yet in that apparent failure was the greatest victory, the salvation of mankind. The first step in overcoming procrastination is to reject the lie that our worth depends on our performance. As St. Isaac the Syrian taught, be at peace with your soul, and then heaven and earth will be at peace with you. When we delay in prayer, in fasting, in acts of love, it's often because we fear falling short. But the Fathers remind us that effort is what matters, not perfection. Each prayer, no matter how distracted, each fast, no matter how weak, each act of kindness, no matter how small, is precious in the eyes of God. The prophet Elijah felt inadequate and wanted to give up, but God showed him that His power was not in the dramatic winds, earthquakes, or fire, but in the still, small voice. Likewise, our efforts, though they may seem small and quiet, carry immense power when guided by God's grace. As we enter this new year, let us strive to embrace both effort and grace. Imagine a bird in flight. One wing represents our work, prayer, fasting, and acts of love. The other wing is the grace of God, sustaining and lifting us. Without one, the other cannot succeed. The Apostle Paul reminds us, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. 2 Corinthians 12:9. Do not fear failure, for failure is not the enemy. St. Anthony the Great said, the greatest fall is not to fall, but to lie down and refuse to get up. Each time you rise after falling, you grow stronger in Christ. Consider the parable of the talents. The servant who hid his talent out of fear lost everything, but those who used their talents even imperfectly were praised. God does not expect us to achieve worldly greatness, but to be faithful in using what He has entrusted to us. This year, take the first step. Begin where you are. Start small. A short prayer, a single act of kindness, a moment of stillness in God's presence. Trust that God will meet you there and breathe life into your efforts. Remember the words of Saint Theophan the Recluse. You will not attain perfection in a single day, but be zealous, and you will be blessed. Let us be zealous, knowing that every small step toward God is a triumph over the enemy. The path to becoming the person God created you to be is not easy, but it is beautiful. Remember, you are not defined by your failures or delays. You are defined by God's love for you. Procrastination loses its power when we rest in this truth, that we are already enough because He is enough. Let this be the year you let go of fear, trust in God's strength, and start living the life you're meant to live. We're all on this journey together, taking it one step at a time, moving closer to the growth and fulfillment that God has for us.